motivated by Ezekel and prompted by him, and a great deal of the knowledge that is possessed now by members of the family began with things that Ezekel was able to teach the family members. He's an expert cook, knows all about the furniture, refinishing, knows many, many things about building trades and what needs to be done. He has tremendous and exquisite taste, and he was able to teach family members what to look for and what to do so that they could then go out and function on their own.
Well, we were the first shop, I think, in the area to take down all its barricades and its boards, because the whole place was boarded up when we moved in here. And the walls were just about in a state of non-existence. They were falling down. The only thing that was in good condition when we got here was the ceiling. And when we got through with doing everything else, the ceiling fell down. And we were planning on redoing the whole place, but it's been a question of whether we'd be renovating ourselves right out of a place to live, or whether we just take over the whole building and then redo it.
You mean if you fixed it up too nicely, then the landlord might take it back and rent it for more money? So what are your plans?
Well, we plan on redoing it room by room. We started with this room because this room was going to be the store, but in the beginning it was going to be a record store. But the day before we took it over, all the records were stolen. Oh, no. It was broken into and all the records were stolen. And we tried, we got some more records, but didn't move too quickly on the street. Nothing moved very quickly here. But then we plan on redoing it, the whole place, room at a time. And that includes the whole building, upstairs and downstairs. And then...
You want to buy the building?
Yeah, we want to buy the building. We want to plant the backyard. The backyard was a garbage dump to begin with. When we moved in here, we got most of the garbage out except for what they buried back there. And we're going to redo that too, so that I guess we can have maybe like a little our food garden in the city here, because it's the biggest yard that we have right now. This used to be our kitchen, or used to be the kitchen of this place, actually, but it wasn't a kitchen when we moved in here. There was nothing here. It was just sort of plumbing where it used to be. And this was sort of a bathroom, too. It's not too complete yet, either. And these are our bedrooms.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and this is the garden back here.
This is the part that I planted, because back there's so much garbage and broken glass and stuff.
That whole roof is yours?
Which whole
Used?
That whole,
all the way back?
Yeah. That is an apple tree which hasn't been taken care of, and that's a cherry tree also that hasn't been taken care of.
What kind of things are you going to plant?
Well, we're going to plant a little bit of maybe whatever fruits and vegetables that we can grow here, and some more like these other plants.
And this will be for the commune and the health food store?
Well, it'll be for our family.
For the whole family.
Our family's idea of food, its preparation and consumption, is to return to the simplest, most natural way. And the juice factory is our first step in dealing with this, with food. We're going to open a natural food store hopefully within several months, but right now the juice factory is the first step. And our idea in preparing juice is to do the simplest thing. We merely take the fruits and vegetables and wash them and quarter them, chop them, whatever is necessary, and remove whatever element of them is not juiceable. And then they're just simply juiced through our juicing machine. And the we found that the best method for juicing is to use a press. It's a two-part operation. The fruits and vegetables are first triturated, ground to a pulp, and then they're placed within material and pressed under a hydraulic press. And in this way, the pulp, the juice is strained out through the material, and the pulp is left dry within the material. We then recycle the pulp and use it as compost. Right now we have one compost pit finished and another under progress, and this compost will eventually be used for fertilizer when we have a farm. Our family is very interested in creating a total environment, and we believe it's very important that it's beautiful where we work and where we live. This is a total environment. And in doing this, we're able to channel our energies towards recycling. In other words, we find old objects in junk stores, or people turn us on to old items. For instance, that old wooden refrigerator, which we found in an old abandoned bar in the Mission. And this counter, which we've built out of used wood, abandoned pine wood, knotty pine. And most of the objects that we have around us are old objects that we found and fixed up. We take wood and reduce it down to its natural state. And right now we're using an old juicing machine, and we have another juicing machine, an old one, which we hope to get going again.
As we said, the store in the corner will be our natural food store, and the two stores down Cole Street to the left will be our shipping and receiving room and our cold storage room for the natural food store. Then to the right, we have four. One, we hope to have a natural food restaurant, extending into the next one, which will be the dining room for that restaurant. Then we hope to do a biodegradable laundromat in one of the next stores, so that our family and others of the neighborhood can come in and wash their clothes using soaps that don't have harmful detergents in them that pollute the waters. We hope to put in a nice area for children to play while their mothers work on their clothes and do a good thing. We haven't got too specific of plans for the final store on the end. We hope to put in perhaps our granary there, from which we will mill our own flours, or we may turn it into a dry goods store for just miscellaneous household merchandise. Our corner store in our building, which we are in the process of turning into a natural food store. It used to be an old drugstore here in the corner, famous for many years. The wood, you see, was all painted over with several coats of paint, and we're taking it down to its natural finish and going to oil it with natural oils and try to restore it as much to its original design as it was when the building was first put up. The principles behind our store are mainly community service. We're going to make only a limited profit and try to offer natural foods to the community as low as price as possible. We're also endeavoring to create a system here that will be ecologically sound. That involves packages that are usually thrown away. We'll try to replace with packages that can be recycled through our garbage and refuse recycling program. We hope to not let anything go out the front door that'll ever end up in the bay. We're going to have downstairs here our main service area for the customers, and upstairs will be our offices.
Where we get food.
Food is purchased from various wholesalers and farmers in the Bay Area. We go to pretty extensive lengths to run down our sources and be sure of the quality, and especially that they haven't been sprayed with any bug sprays or chemical weed killers or fertilizers. The natural food or organic food scene in San Francisco is really booming. We found that more commercial stores are doing very, very successfully and with large markups and great profit margins. And we hope to offer this same kind of quality here in the Haight-Ashbury for individuals who don't have quite as much money. We've personally taken this one on. We're project heads. There are other heads of other projects. We were chosen mainly because of our great interest in food, and that we've been into it for several years and gotten our own ideas about what we're eating pretty straight, and now we're trying to help with some other people.
How can the family have so conservative?
Well, we've come to understand that food is one of the most basic things in everyone's life, and that if there are going to be changes made for the better, that's a good place to start. Because there's an old saying, it's not so old, but it's you are what you eat. And that has subtleties in it that none of us really realize. And we feel that if we can help the people in our family and in the community to know more about food and eat better, that'll start solving some of the basic problems at the core of of the problem, rather than just treating the symptoms.
Exam and passed it. And
When did you return from Peace Corps?
1969.
When did
66. I graduated from USF in 66 and went in the Peace Corps for 2 years and then traveled for about a year. And came back, took the bar exam, and had a hard time finding a place in the law that I could feel comfortable in.
Right.
And I was brought over here.
Why?
Well, I'd have to talk about how disassociated I feel from the legal system, and that would
Right.
I feel that there's certain things the law should be doing that it isn't doing right now, and but I think we should really talk about something more positive, and because that's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in talking about positive things, and the family, this group right here, is the most positive thing that I found in the Haight-Ashbury.
What do you
and
do
in the
in
city. Well, I was originally brought over by George, and he asked me to set up a nonprofit corporation so we could go down to Glide Foundation and attempt to get some funding for the projects and all the people and all the people that we help out and we try to support. And so that's what I'm in the process of doing now. We set up a nonprofit corporation. I'm waiting to hear from Sacramento. And there's a very good possibility that Glide Foundation we submitted a proposal. I wrote up a proposal, and we submitted it for $10,000. If we get the proposal, we'll be able to do the health food store downstairs and the hotel and various other projects, which I hope you're going to go around and you're going to see.
How much profit are you going to make out of it?
Well, what we want to do is whatever profit we do make, which will be minimal, because we want to serve the community in the Haight-Ashbury, we want to take that profit and put them back into the buildings, into the various projects we have, and by hopefully providing this impetus and showing people that something can be done here, because that's the trouble. There's apathy. People don't believe anything positive can be generated in the Haight, and in fact it can. And if we can just open a few stores and a few businesses and do a very fine job of them, then hopefully people are going to be turned on enough to follow suit. And that, I mean, I believe that enough to be spending a considerable amount of my time. You know, I live in the building about half the time. But I've only been with them about 7 months now. And they've just done a very good thing for me, and I've seen various people come off the streets, people that are on hard drugs, on heroin and on speed, and I've seen what is done to their lives. And
Is there a rehabilitation program, or does it just happen naturally?
it's a very natural process, because people come in, they live here, they get their food here, and they work. And the thing is,
This is one of the rooms that are being painted. Well, before it was consisted of blue and red enamel with smatterings of day blue paint. Finish this wood here, and then eventually we're going to lay a plot of arms and boil arms. And upstairs is where these came from an old building that was coming down. This is like made out of premier velvet.
It's really soft.
Really, it has a fireproof pad underneath of it. The family member that's a Zen student is also a carpet layer. So this is just like a preview of what is going to be downstairs. Only that down there is going to be a collage of oil and red. As far as I know, with some of this.
Who all lives here in the building?
Do you have the people plus other tenants?
Somebody owns the building and you just all live here? Or
It's our building, right?
you all are the family that owns the building, so you don't pay rent.
Oh, we do. The people that are in charge of that. But it is like we still have to meet our obligations to whatever is happening, and that's how we meet them, is by working hard, and we also manage this building. So family members that have apartments, they pay rent, just
Right.
like the rest of the tenants. Right. There used to be stained glass windows in here, I understand. We're going to replace them with some peroxide glass.
Hi. What you doing? God. You can get all that off?
Yeah, most of it. I had to chisel them off
Oh, and then you're gonna redo them?
Yeah,
Prepare the surface for a mural.
Are you gonna make a mural here? And what's it gonna say?
Edible life.
Well, this is the last project that we've taken over, I believe, and after the hotel and Galatea and the Coal Street apartment building and the juice factory. This is our house. This is where we'll all live. And right now we're in the process of restoring it. The outside, as you can see, needs a little bit of work, but you know, it'll all be done. The house will look original again. The house is going to serve as like a meeting place, an entertaining place for our friends. And I guess I should tell you what we're doing to it. Huh? I'm taking all the paint off the wood, first of all. And rewiring it so it'll be, you know, sound and last a long time, we hope. And let's see, what else?
It's beautiful stained glass window.
Oh, do you like that?
This is the kitchen, and this is where we'll be doing all of our cooking for all of our projects going on. This will be the main kitchen here. And we're doing all this work ourselves. This is the counter that we've done. So far, it's in construction right now. We're going to have this sink here and another sink. This will all be heavy duty, so we'll be able to handle all of our dishes for as many people as we can serve. And we'll have heavy duty stoves here, which are being constructed right now. They're being put together. They were all taken apart and redone. I can't think. Okay, this is our bathroom. This is where we're going to be taking our baths and brushing our teeth in the morning. Now this all used to be painted in here. This all had just thick coats of paint on it, and we took it all off by burning it all off and sanding it and smoothing it and scraping it, and then we wire brushed it. And over here we're bringing out the grains, and you can see. And these are all the original tiles, and this is a bathtub that we got out of another old building. And it's about 100 years old. It's spring water in the mountains for about a year now for the family, and I've been doing that with other people. And like we go up in the mountains and get spring water up in the mountains, and we drink that instead of using the city water because we don't believe in chemicals. And as we've been getting it for ourselves, other people have wanted it too, so I've been taking it to them. And I take to about 10 or 12 other families now in San Francisco, and they all really dig it. And they use it for cooking and drinking and watering their plants.
What mountains do you get it from?
We get it from Samuel P. Taylor Park near Point Reyes. We go quite a while. I've been going about every 3 nights for quite a while now. But it really works out groovy. So.
Built about 1906, right after the earthquake, and it was very beautiful at the time. But when we got it, it was condemned. It had been taken over in the end by the bikers, I would say, or just transient people that really didn't have anything together as far as responsibilities, and they really did their share of wrecking the building out, as you'll see. We've done a lot of texturizing in here, as you can see. We've exposed a lot of this wood, all of it, as a matter of fact. It was, as well as replaced most of these door jambs, all of them in the hotel. We got these from an old town that they were tearing down, a village. And that's quite a story in itself. But we got these and replaced them because we do want to restore this to its original condition. I would say there's these rooms are, I would say, almost completed. We've replaced the plumbing. We got the plumbing from an 18-story skyscraper they were tearing down downtown, and out of all the commodes. And everything in here has been, we redid just everything in this whole building, made it a shell, and then started over and replaced all that had been damaged and needed to be replaced. As of now, there's still just final touches like pieces of wood trim missing, and then a coat of paint and finish the wood, sand the floors, and we're ready for a permit of occupancy. Has been up to now is to finish this building and present more or less of a base so that the people that will be living here and working here will be able to express themselves the way they want. And it's been our job mostly to reconstruct and restore the building to its original condition as much as we could possibly do. And it's been shown in exposing the woodwork, for instance, replacing the plumbing, many hours of electrical and carpentry, for sure. Just when I stop and think of how many people, for instance, this building has enveloped who have exchanged energies with us here, and if, like for myself, if I feel this building, working here, being able to have this opportunity to work here has really helped me get my head together, whereas I can remember when it was very difficult for me to relate to even being able to do the simplest of tasks, to where now I feel I have really gained valuable insight to training and just really more full consciousness, which is what I want. And I feel that this group wants as well. That's what we're striving for, and it shows within our projects, and just I hope in the general attitudes of the people we have enveloped.
I have survived mainly as a servant, because I really dig it. There, from that level, I can really see it all, And what I feel is that what has started there in the Haight-Ashbury for these kids, I hope that it's strong enough that nobody will take it away from them, because I'm turning it over to them.
Right, it's them.
It's
not just you.
It's them, man.
It's a whole big thing.
This whole thing is to protect them.
Yeah,
because I'm all right. They could put me in prison, and I could make myself very useful. They could deport me. I could go to my country and do the same thing I'm doing here.
Right.
My head is already that way. But I'm concerned about what will happen to them. I want anything that happens to strengthen their hold on whatever's happening. Because that which is already started is large enough to take care of them and many others.
Right.
And it could expand. It's working with things that are a new frontier, really. Organic eating is a new thing. Yeah. If they really use their heads, they can really make that a national or international trip where they can really do well with it and expand. And a lot of people could get jobs from it. A lot of people could express themselves creatively.